Hey guys, so I grow a lot of aloe vera in my greenhouse, and I'm going to show you how to harvest the leaves, how to get the toxins out or the poison out, and I'm going to show you how to preserve it for a long period of time, up to 1 year. All the steps along the way that you need to know. And yes, there is toxins in aloe vera. Now, it's not like a high dangerous toxin, but can be an irritant to the skin if you use it without using this first step to remove that. It's really simple, nothing hard. So I'll show you step by step, and I'll bring you in a little bit closer so you can see all the steps very easily. Now you have two options. You can buy the leaves yourself, or you can buy a plant and just harvest the leaves directly from the plant. They're fairly easy. You want to use a pair of gloves because there are spines along the edge of each leaf. But what I'm showing you here is that yellow toxin. You can see it dripping off, already starting to come out. This is called latex, and it is an irritant to the skin, so we want to remove that first. It's really simple to do this, but just remember, when you're removing one of these leaves, you're going to carefully twist in a slow motion with a pair of gloves on so you don't hurt your hands on the spines along the leaves. But as soon as you remove the leaves, you'll see this yellow substance coming out. But there's a really simple method to making sure, I don't drop this, making sure that our latex toxin doesn't irritate our skin. We're going to put it in a clear container of water, and we're going to, some people say 2 to 4 hours. I say let it sit overnight, at least 10 to 12 hours, and let that leach out into the water. When you come back and look at your water the next day, it's going to be a yellowish color from the constant dripping and leaching of each leaf. So just remember to let that sit overnight. Like I said, some people recommend 2 to 4 hours. I just feel like overnight is best to make sure we get all the toxins out of each leaf. Now, even if you've purchased the leaves somewhere and they've already cleaned up the ends of it and it doesn't have this kind of curved shape to it, you still want to go in and remove it again before you try to get the toxins out of it, because they may have not been washed. So we're just going to carefully take our razor sharp sushi blade here and just carefully cut off the end like this. Each one of them, we're going to remove that, and we're going to allow it to sit in the container. Now you're already starting to see some of the yellow product. I'm going to show you where I had some on this thing to show you how easy it is to distinguish. It's very bright yellow, and once you let it sit overnight, you will be amazed at how your water changes color. But we're going to let these sit for 12 hours before we come back and start processing the leaves. Now, as you can see, after 12 hours of sitting in water, the water itself is now a gold urine color, and it's just from the leaching of that chemical. I've stirred it a little bit so you could see a little bit easier to see that there is a toxin in there that needs to be removed. But after that, I'm going to take it out of the greenhouse, rinse it off, bring it back in, and show you the processing method. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use just a common potato peeler to remove the spines and the skin. So we're just going to run this down the side, and I'll try to make sure it's in camera here. But we're just going to remove all the way down. Really easy to do, and you'll get the maximum benefit by using a potato peeler because you're only removing the skin. If you use a knife, sometimes you don't get everything out of there. So a potato peeler, it just works so great, and you can see that super thin. I'm going to go up this side over here, all the way to the top. Now, I'm going to try to do this. This is a rather wide stem there, so I'm going to try to remove this without losing any. It's a little bit difficult to do from an angle there. I'm just trying to make sure you can see it, but I'm going to try to get all the way down to the aloe vera. A little bit hard to do sometimes, but I'm just going to go along the full length of it, removing the skin and trying not to take anything but skin. Just like that, all the way down. Go all the way to the tip. And then when I remove this, you can see our aloe vera is all the way exposed. There's probably a little bit here. We can scrape that off as well, but that's what you're going to do. You're just going to remove one side of it to make sure you can get access. I'm going to do the other two. Try not to make too big of a mess. I'll probably end up having to bring a hose pipe into the greenhouse. But let's go to the second one. Same procedure. Just run your potato peeler down the full length of it, both sides, just like that. And then I'm trying to, normally I would do this outside, but I just want to do this in the greenhouse so I can get a good camera view of it so you can see exactly what I'm doing. And sometimes when you're removing it, you may not be pressing down hard enough. So you'll have to come back and just kind of like you're peeling a potato, just going back and slowly removing it. Once you get up under the skin, usually you can go down the full length of it, all the way to the tip. Remove that. And you can see that's the full full thing, and I'm gonna show you how to remove this easy as well. And I'm gonna do the last one. This one was a little bit smaller. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to scrape out the aloe vera. I'm going to do it very slowly. We're just going to try to, almost like we're digging, put it right up against the back side of the leaf. We didn't cut, just only one side. You can see it coming out there. It's a little slippery. My hands are slippery because I'm only wearing one glove. And it just comes out of there in one piece. You can see that. And I'm trying to get as much. I'm going back and forth to try to get the maximum out off of each leaf. You can see it's really thick there. So that's very slippery. But that is the interior of the aloe vera leaf. It's like a jellyfish, actually. We're going to go to the second leaf and do the same thing to the second and third. Now I've got a blender that I use specifically for the greenhouse, and so we're going to put the aloe vera into a blender. You can use a hand mixer. You just want to blend this into kind of a liquefied gel, but we still haven't finished the process of separating it from the solids. So we're just going to do this first and put it in our blender and blend it for about 30 seconds to about 1 minute. Now it will have a tendency to foam, and that's where we're going to separate it from the foam. You can let the foam settle for a little bit, but what we're going to do, there's two ways that you can do this. You can either use a very fine mesh filter, or if I can find the cloth that I have around here, a piece of cotton like this, you can pour it in there and squeeze it out, kind of center it in the center of the cotton, pour it in there. And that's going to help separate any solids or any of the leaf that ended up into our puree. Just going to take that, we're going to fold it, and we're going to squeeze this out through the bottom of this into, even one better, we're going to run through the mesh so that when it gets into our final bowl here, it's a very fine liquid. And that way we can make sure that we don't have any of the leaf into our final product. Now I've cleaned up our table, and I've gotten what was left on the table from the leaves, and I'm just going to squeeze that little bit that's left out of our cloth into our strainer. And I don't know if you could tell, but in the previous strainer there was some residue left, and that's the solids we're talking about. And so I'm just trying to get all of that. Let's see if you can see that still coming through in kind of a gel form. But none of the leaf is in there. The green is, I see a few green pieces in our strainer here. So that's one thing to remember, is you want to make sure you strain it either through something like a cloth or a very fine mesh strainer, maybe even something like a coffee ground strainer, because we want to get any solid particles out, especially the leaf portion. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take about 1 tablespoon of xanthan gum, and this is a thickening agent. And we're going to put that in a mixing bowl. And for the 3 leaves, I'm just going to play it by ear because I want it to be thick enough, like a gel, almost like a pudding consistency. So if we have to add more, we can, but we want to mix it carefully. And you can do something like this. This little mixing tool, I can just carefully put it in here and mix it carefully. Make sure it's well mixed. And this thickening agent, if I need to add some more of the xanthan gum, I'll put a link in the description to it, acts as a thickening agent and also a preservative. I think we're not quite thick enough. It will thicken up over time. We just want to make sure. I'm going to say we need to probably add just a little bit more, maybe half a tablespoon. Just want to make sure it's nice and thick when we put it into our final container, and I'm going to show you 2 or 3 ways to preserve it. Now I will say there are some other preservative agents you can use. You can use lemon juice as a preservative agent. You can use vitamin C as a preserving agent. you probably want to do maybe a quarter teaspoon to something this size, maybe a few ounces. Or in the case of vitamin C, if you have a capsule, break it open, or if you have a tablet, crush it down and put it in there. Maybe I'm thinking about 1 to 200 milligrams, and that will help it to last up to 30 days. Just going to keep mixing this, and then if I let it sit for a while, it will thicken up. Now it's already starting to thicken a little bit, but what we're going to do is we're going to put it in a glass container, and we're going to let it sit on the countertop. And there's a lot of different ways people like to use this. A great way is a skin moisturizer, sunburn, any number of face mask, anything like that. My wife has a lot of things she likes to do with aloe vera, so we're just going to let this sit on a countertop between 2 and 3 hours and thicken up, and then we can store it in the refrigerator. And like I said, this can last up to 30 days. But as far as the pure aloe vera juice, that's something that I'm going to show you how to make it last up to a year. Now what this is a kit that I recently purchased, and it's got about 48 different types of essential oils. In this particular one right here, you can add any essential oil you like. This particular one is rosemary. You can just add 3 or 4 drops to a small container like this. Mix it well. You can either shake it, or we can use our stirrer once again to make sure it's well mixed. And it's really starting to thicken, so I'm glad I didn't forget to do that, because once it becomes completely thick, it's really hard to mix in an essential oil. So like I said, 2 to 3 hours, this will be ready. So anyways, if you're interested in this kit that has all these different essential oils, I'll put a link in the description. This is the second one I purchased. Now the way that I like to store this for long periods of time, because I don't like harvesting aloe vera and then wasting it, and that's usually what happens if you don't use it right away. But if you want to store it long term, you can do something like this. Put it inside of a container, and then pour it into an ice tray and then freeze it. Once the aloe vera freezes, you're going to keep it, the smallest ice cubes you can get is what I like to use, because I'm only using a small amount of time. So if somebody needs it for a sunburn, or my wife wants to use it for a face mask, she could just take one of the ice cubes out and let it melt in a bowl. But keeping it inside of a container like this, writing on top what it is, it'll last for up to a year, and then probably a little bit longer inside your freezer. But that's one of the great things about aloe vera. It is one of those things that you can always find a use for that you never thought of if you just do a little bit of research. It's like a miracle plant that I really like to have around the greenhouse. So guys, a while back I made a video about how to actually propagate aloe vera plants, and this is called a pup. It's a very small offshoot of the aloe vera plant, and you can just keep multiplying these. I only started with a few, and now I have quite a few, more than I did when I started. So it's really one of those plants that you'll love to have around. It's beautiful to look at. It'll survive even the hottest days in the greenhouse with minimal water. So I just really like the aloe vera plant. So guys, if you enjoy this, I hope you'll like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, if you'll please become a public subscriber first, then that's the way I filter all my comments and questions. That way, if I get 100 questions in one day, I can put people like you that have really tried to help me at the front of the line. So I really appreciate that. So guys, have a great day, and I hope you'll try this recipe.